When first I left old England, sure such yarns as we were told, as how folks in Australia could pick up lumps of gold. So when we got to Melbourne town, we were ready soon to slip and get even with the captain and scuttle from the ship. With his flag upon me shoulder, Black Billy in me hand, I travel the bush of Australia like a true born native man.
Well, g'day everyone, back to the channel. Just going to do a little bit of final cleanup on the sluice, the old Gold Hog multi-sluice. So what I've got here, just got half a bucket of crushed specimens. It's been sitting in my shed for months and months. I crushed it, picked out the nuggets. And then I thought I'll finally get around to washing it. So with this sluice, it is a clean-up sluice. If you want to jump on Gold Hog, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but so it's the aim of it is to strip down these cons very quickly and to not have any or not have as much black sands. So the idea isn't to catch all the gold in one pass, but to strip it down in a couple of passes, and then you'll be left with a few tablespoons of what they call super cons. So in this first run, we've got an aggressive type mat, and you run it about, I believe it's 11 degrees, and you can feed that fairly fast. And then on my next run, I've got a finer mat. And you just change the pitch of that, and then you run it very slowly. And then after that, you'll be left with your cons with very minimal panning. So that's the idea of it. I'm going to give you guys a bit of a quick rundown on that, and hopefully we'll see fair bit of gold at the end. So I think it's just an 1100 gallon per hour pump, bilge pump, running off a 12 volt out of the ute. So let's get into it. I've got a couple of species here that I found after I crushed. I just chucked into the pan. Should get around to crusting that, but there you go. This material has been through the hammer mill. It's bone dry, as you can see, so it takes a while for that material to get liquefied, solidified, whatever you call it. That's all there is to it, really. We're just you might be able to see the dust, or maybe not. You can definitely see the fine dust coming off of this silica, the silica dust. No good for breathing in. You know, a lot of the older miners who worked underground, drilling and such, ended up with silicosis. So you can imagine breathing this in all day on your shift. And what it does is the dust is actually the dust has sharp, jagged edges, is what I believe. And when you breathe that in, it actually scores the inside of your lungs. It's irreversible damage. You can't fix it once the damage has been done. And of course, people's lung capacities greatly reduce. They can't get oxygen into their blood. It causes a lot of other mayhem too. So it's not just doesn't just happen in the mining industry, but also in trades. I know there's a lot of issues with marble bench tops and things like that. That's been in the news a bit lately. So you can see just how fine this material is. Might even find a bit of gold or so. So I'll finish running all that and I'll get back to you. Righto guys, so this is the carnage. Taking that header box off. Also please excuse the crickets. It's summer here in Australia and they're just going mental. So, but anyway, this is what we got to see. If you will focus. So this is typical of hammer mill gold. It usually hammers the gold into these round balls. Just looking down, there's a nice bit over here. I'd imagine there'd be quite a lot packed in under here. Some nice bits down in here. Try zoom you in. There's a nice ball. Right there. Let's try to pick him out. Nice one. Just looking down. I'm seeing not a lot of flower stuff. There's a nice little flake down there. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about if we miss anything on this run. All the tailings are caught in here. Yep, all the tailings are in there. I think we may have splashed a little bit out of this catching tub here, but that's all right. It's all in there, so don't worry, guys, if any gets washed out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these cons, put them in a pan. I'll change over to the second mode, and that's going to reduce that even more. It's a few tablespoons of what we just call super cons, and then you'll have next to nothing to pan off, and you just see how much fine gold there is during that method. Just wanted to show you something really quick, guys. I haven't used this sluice for years and years and years, so you got all these spider webs and stuff on it. You know, I did try and hose it off a bit before I used it, but if you look in here, that's a bit of gold in that spider web there. Just goes to show. I think the old timers used to use sheep's wool. They used to shear a sheep, or I don't know, use a dead sheep. I don't know what they did, but how they got a hold of it. But they used wool, and that they would catch gold similar way. So I just rinse the mat here off into that pan, and we're going to chuck in the other mat here, the smoother mat. You can see these have got quite, this mat is quite smoother than this one here. So we'll chuck that in, and we'll do one more run. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I've got that washer mat, that fine mat in. I've raised the pitch up to 13 degrees, as recommended. I've also failed to forget to tell you that there was a reducer in here, so it does actually reduce the amount of water that's going through. But as you can see, it's a very thin, very fast flow now. And I've taken that tailings tub out. I've put that there because we don't need to catch the tailings anymore once we run this. And what this process does is that'll reduce that to about 3 tablespoons of cons. So anything we missed on that first run, we're going to get it with this one. Now, just for reference, this here is about 1 cup full of 1 cup of cons from that first run. I haven't actually looked at it yet, but we can get a bit of a swish around. You see there's some nice specks in there. And we've got a few fines in there too coming through. So that's just from that first run, and that only took me about 15 minutes for the first run. This run's going to not take me too long, so let's just say about half an hour from that one bucket there. 1 bucket of crushed ore, about half an hour, and we got it down to these super cons, 1 cup full and a couple of tablespoons from the tailings. I think that's pretty good going, I think. We're not dealing with just handfuls and handfuls of black sand. So it's all about, when you think of mining, it's all about processes, you know. If you want to, if you're just a hobby prospector, gold panner, you know, you mess around for an afternoon, take the kids out down the creek, whatever. You know, you find a few specks, you know, happy days, you had a good time. But when it comes to mining, you're in it for money. And of course, time is money in the business world. You want to make sure, or you want to reduce all your processes as much as you can, whilst retaining a high standard. So that's what gold hogs are renowned for. They're not just prospecting pieces of gear. They're not gimmicks. They're gold mining tools. So I know people out there have your opinions, whatever, but this is what I use. Keep an open mind. So that's all I'm saying. Catches gold. So all right, I'll run this and I'll see how we go. Okay, let's see how she looks. There's very little cons in there, which is to be expected. So what I do is I just tilt that up lightly, and all that remaining water will go down there. Not seeing any gold at all. Of course, most of your gold will get caught in that first run. But this is just to catch anything that we missed. So, like I said, there's going to be 2 to 3 tablespoons out of that. And we'll be left with just a cup and a bit of cons. So let's get it cleaned up, or at least in the pan, and I'll do a few swishes around and see what we got. So you're starting to see a bit of this really fine flower gold coming through. It's all in that right corner. It's going to be hard to do one-handed, but anyway, so this is how I pan. Now I've done a couple of videos on how I pan. It's been met with mixed results, but an old timer taught me this one, who has been doing gold mining his whole life, specifically with hard rock mining, and he uses what they call a loaming dish, which doesn't have any of these ridges on. So what I would normally do is you get your thumb on here. You can see all that gold is, I'm putting that in that right corner. So in all the heavies, you can see the black sand and the white sand. Ideally, you'd probably want to classify this a bit more. This is actually proving to be a challenge one-handed, so you can see that gold is being placed and the heavies are in that corner there. So I'm going to clean it up a bit more, and then when you can see what we got out of that whole run. Right, so this is the finished product of our run. Yeah, all that, all super fine gold. You got these round balls. Also got that runaway one there. And this isn't really cleaned up. There's still a lot of bits of, I believe, iron in there from the mill, and this is just for the sake of showing you the process. So yeah, not bad at all really, considering that was the second time I went through. I originally panned that first bucket. I panned that and got about 10 grams out of that, and then this is the second time I've gone through it. So with the sluice to get even finer stuff. So yeah, not sitting too bad at all. So thanks for checking out this video, and maybe you learnt something. Drop a comment, all that, if you learnt something, and give us some feedback. But yeah, just a nice little easy way of cleaning up. So like I said, half an hour from beginning to this. So if you're a high banker guy, sluice guy, you probably do all your runs on the creek, do your washouts into one bucket, bring all your cons home, run it through this, and get it over and done with real quick. So yeah, but hey, if you're just happy to go out for a pan too, that's fine too. So it's a great hobby, so enjoy it while we got it. So anyway, thanks guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.